add some salt and pepper. Well, this is already flavoring it enough. We have our pesto there. Depending on how much you like I told you before, our family loves garlic and pesto. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this in here. Hi everybody. Okay, so now we're at the end of the road. Most of the time that this thing takes is most preparation. The sauteing takes like maybe just say 25 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes, but the preparation is the majority of this whole meal. So now we're at the point where we're going to put this whole thing together so we can get it in the oven and everybody can eat. So the way I start is I would like to take a sauce and I put it at the bottom of each pan. So like I said before, this is going to make about 2. We're just going to make a little bit at the bottom. And it's the same way that you would make lasagna if you've ever made lasagna before. You coat the bottom of your pan. Now, we get our first layer of pasta or zucchini. I like to go long ways. And these big lasagna, these big zucchini, take up a lot of space, which is fantastic. And just alternate the thickness. So sometimes it's thicker at the bottom of the zucchini, and you can do thin, thick, and you can get a nice, good overlay of the noodle or zucchini at this point. So this is how it looks here. You show just a little bit of a lip on each side of them, right here. And so you're gonna go. Now I'm gonna go to the ricotta because it's easier to spread the ricotta actually on the zucchini than trying to dab it in. Or you could do that too. Whatever method works for you, depending on the time and patience that you have at the moment. So just coat it. It doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to put pretty much cheese on every level. And then we also have our mozzarella that we're going to put on too. So I'm just going to go over it, make a nice little spread. You can use a fork, rubber spatula. That'll work also. Make the spread a little easier. There we go. Okay, that's one. And now we're going to go ahead and add in our ingredients. I'm going to get another spoon for that. And just go ahead and layer that in. Depending on the depth of your pan, you kind of have to eyeball and see what you want. Is how many layers you're going to get in there. Just trying to have a good spread of everything mixed around. Okay. So that's one layer there. Then we're going to add our mozzarella, and then we're going to put some more tomato sauce. And we're going to start another level all the way over again. Okay, so now after I finish the first layer, I'm going to turn the zucchini in a different direction, alternating thickness of the zucchini, just covering as much as you possibly can. That's what these little small pieces are good for. Okay, if they're hanging over the edge, just take your knife, kind of cut against the edge of the glass. There you go. And we're going to do the same with the other side. This dish is a little bigger. Oh, and I wanted to say earlier, I forgot, because I put to I put the mushrooms and the complete mixture that's going into this pasta. I didn't omit for my poor son, and he reminded me, because he didn't hear me say this is the no mushroom meal. But he'll be okay. Okay guys, I'm finishing up. Got a couple layers in of the zucchini. At the end, since I have very little left, I like the little blots of the ricotta and I don't like the waste. So just get as much as we can out of this container, get it back onto the lasagna, into the meal. Okay, and just kind of take the fork, you want to drag it around depending on how picky you want to be with it. Just make sure it's spread around. And then like I like to finish it off with a nice little cap of zucchini. I'm going to take the zucchini here. And this is where I'm going to really layer in the zucchini. And on top of this, we're just going to put a good, nice crusting layer of cheese. We're going to put some aluminum foil on top. Let's see, look at that piece. Fits perfectly just right there. I'm just going to cut it. Put it right there at the bottom. One last final tip at the end, just take some Parmesan, go ahead and sprinkle it on top. Are still going, then put it on top of there. Okay, so now I'm just going to get out the aluminum foil and I'm going to cover it up. Make sure you put a bit of a tint on it so it doesn't stick to the cheese, doesn't stick to the aluminum foil. And then so I'm going to put it in the oven for 350 degrees. Because everything's already cooked inside, I would say about 35 minutes. Then once it's cooked inside and everything's kind of settled down, go ahead and take the covers off and put the broiler on. Just look at the cheese, a nice good color to it. Okay, so now we're going to put the aluminum foil on it. I pulled a nice sized piece. Just at the end, go ahead and fold it. And push in just a little bit so you can provide that tint. You don't want the cheese to all come off once you take off. Another trick that my mom taught me is you could take some Pam. If you want to use that, you could spray it on there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It all depends. But go for it. And if you have any suggestions for me, go ahead and send those to me also. Okay, so we got a little bit of a give in there. We're going to go ahead and do the other one. This one's a little bit bigger. I'm going to go ahead and turn this one to the side. This way you can kind of see the tint that I'm creating. Okay, so just fold it up underneath here. Just on one side. Making sure you leave enough on the other side. And just push up. And when you got enough of a lift, go ahead and crimp. And that's where you're going to go ahead and keep it together. Okay? Just bring down the sides just a little bit. And most important, if you can't get it down the side, don't worry about it. Alright. Our oven is all hot. I'm going to go ahead and put these in. Side by side. And if you're worried about any juices leaking out, just go ahead and use the sheet pan that we use for our zucchini. We'll take these off of here. And just put the sheet pan right up underneath. Catch any dripping. And you're all set. We're going to set the timer for 35 minutes and we'll check it.